Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Frank Lampard has given his pre-match press conference ahead of Everton's trip to Bournemouth tomorrow. It's the final Premier League game before the break for the World Cup in Qatar takes place, and Everton are in need of a victory, really. Haven't won enough games so far this season, and obviously still reeling from a 4-1 defeat in the Carabao Cup to Bournemouth on Tuesday night. The manager was asked this morning whether he has any regrets about the game on Tuesday night.
We lost the game in terms of the selection, no, because we have to use the squad. We haven't got probably at this point a squad to compete. I think we showed that through league, through cup, when you got 3 games in a week, what the Carabao Cup would have meant to us. We wanted to win the game, and the onus was on the players who played to win the game, and it didn't happen. It's done now. We move on to tomorrow.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, obviously, for Everton to bounce back tomorrow. I know it will be a much changed side. Of course, it will. There was 11 changes the other night. It'll be Everton's first team essentially tomorrow. And obviously, where Everton are in the Premier League table, it's still very tight from the bottom to where we are, and obviously places above up for grabs as well. The manager was asked how big a game he thought this was tomorrow with the context of the season. This is what he had to say.
It'd be really nice to go into a big break like that. We all look at the table, so there's no doubt it'd be nice.
Away form obviously is something that's been questionable over the course of the last few seasons with Everton. Is tomorrow a real sort of indicator of where you are away from home, taking on the likes of Bournemouth below?
No, I mean, when you say the likes of Bournemouth, it's a Bournemouth team that have beaten Leicester at home, nearly beat Tottenham at home. We've had a good home record this season, and we conceded. So we shouldn't disrespect them at all. It's a tough Premier League away game. They're all tough. And I think at times this season we've either gone away and got results that maybe we wouldn't have got previously, or last season. I'm talking about Leeds, I'm talking about Brentford, talking about going to Southampton and winning, going to Tottenham and competing and probably should be winning at half-time and we're not, and they're close games. That's certainly progress. Now, we want more, but it's unrealistic to say that we'll go from one place to the place we want to be in a short period of time. So we've certainly shown progress. I don't think we're looking at Bournemouth in isolation as a game that's going to be a gauge of where we're at. We want to go and win the game, that's clear.
The manager confirmed that Idrissa Gana Gueye and Amadou Onana would be available for the game tomorrow. Both have been returned to training following their absence on Tuesday night after picking up injuries in last Saturday's 2-0 home defeat by Leicester City. The manager did confirm, however, though, that Dominic Calvert-Lewin wouldn't be available for the trip back down to the South Coast. This is what the manager had to say on Calvert-Lewin.
No, he won't be involved. Don't worry. He's got an injury, and he's had a few bangs, to be fair to Dominic, and he's been playing with some bits. So he'll be. We hope that the break comes at a good time for him, and we expect him back for Wolves on Boxing Day. The hamstring's a small injury. It's probably a 10-day injury as such, which is slightly irrelevant now. The shoulder isn't too. Was a whack he took against Newcastle, and. He then had a bit of a recurrence against Fulham. He's been strapped up a lot, so that's something that's been looked at by a specialist yesterday and doesn't need any surgery or anything like that, so that's there. And he has still the knee, so he's been getting through with some issues. So the knee is probably the most prominent injury that we want to get right, which is a similar injury to what he had before. It's been aggravated, so this period gives us time to get it back right.
So has he dislocated his shoulder then?
He dislocated it and it went back in. That's the simple terms that I know.
Against Newcastle?
Yeah.
Okay. So he played on during that game?
So let's give him some credit. I think a lot of people take a view on players that get injuries and say, and speculate behind the scenes, or how many times are they out there and this and that, and then there's a lad that dislocated and went back in. And I know there's a lot of people outside football that do a lot braver things than what we do, but it's a lad that's dedicated to try and get on the pitch for his club and possibly his country. And unfortunately for Dom, obviously it hasn't worked this time.
Yeah, so disappointing news there that Calvert-Lewin will again be missing this weekend. But hopefully, once Everton return from the break, he'll be fit and available along, obviously, with Ben Godfrey and Andros Townsend for the Wolves game on Boxing Day. So there you go. Apparently, Dele Alli could return to Everton. That's according to sources in Turkey. There's claims made that he is unhappy with the sacking of former coach Valerian Ismail. Senul Gunes has replaced him and obviously had a little pop at Delhi's fitness levels and conditioning last week. That was widely reported, and there's more stories off the back of that saying that Ali's not happy there and will seek a return to Everton. Besiktas do have a deal in place with Everton to purchase Ali permanently at the end of the season, so we'll have to see how this one plays out. I guess the thing is get fit and score goals, and then you'll be happy and they'll be happy you can stay. Today, sources in Portugal claiming that Everton are interested in Sporting winger Isaku Fatawu. The 18-year-old has been included in Ghana's World Cup squad for the tournament in Qatar. Very, very highly rated. A lot of clubs after him. Everton are in the market for forward players and did send a scout to watch him at Sporting. But this one seems unlikely to me. He's like 18-year-old, a big price, I think. You know, some mad numbers being thrown around for his services at the moment. But Everton are in the market for forward players this January, so we'll wait and see. This one, though, to me, just seems like pure speculation. And finally, Ben Brayton has again been linked with a move to Everton this January. A fee of around £10 million has been reported, would take the Blackburn striker to Goodison Park. Everton were interested in taking him in the summer, but it was deemed too expensive. Brayton's already scored 10 goals this season for Blackburn so far. He notched 22 last season. He is out of contract next summer, but and therefore there could be some haggling with the fee where that's concerned. But obviously, you know, with the injuries continuing to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton may be tempted to go and get him this time. He is obviously a physical striker, can play wide as well, so maybe that would appeal to Everton, the fact he can do two jobs. But we'll have to wait and see whether Everton do follow that up and make a bid for Ben Brayton when the January transfer window opens. That is it for the News Daily. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and why not become a Toffee TV Premium member? The link is in the description and the QR code's on the screen now. See you later.